Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. Now, firstly, if my voice sounds crazy and just weird, it's because I'm sick. I'm in America and I managed to get sick. It's probably because of all the people in Comic-Con that aren't washing their goddamn hands. But anyway, so yeah, Season 6, the Comic-Con panel went down. We obviously got the trailer, which we've, gone over. If you have not seen my trailer breakdown, I will leave it linked in the description down below. But in this video, we are going to be going over all the highlights from the panel, and going not necessarily in depth, because some of them don't necessarily need to be gone into in depth because they're pretty self-explanatory, but we will go over all of them just so you guys know what was said and I guess what's to come and what was teased. Hopefully, I will be able to come back next year. This year was it was a fun year to come because Arrow's last year and stuff like that, and the Flash panel was cool. But apart from like the DC TV stuff, there was nothing really else on. It was a pretty tame Comic-Con in regards to stuff that was revealed. So hopefully next year there's a bit more stuff going on. So all those studios that bailed this year, please come back next year, or just come next year. But yeah, throughout the video, let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions, because there were, I guess, some differing opinions about some of the stuff that came out here. Not necessarily negative, like, oh, I don't want that to happen, but people doubting it would happen, because we've had the issue over the past, 2 or 3 seasons, where we've had Todd Helbing, who said all these things, either at Comic-Con or just before his season starts, and then they actually never happen, in the actual season. Eric Wallace has taken over. I think he has a desire and a passion here, so I think we can rely on him a bit more. So I trust a lot of the stuff that is being said here. So yeah, let's jump into it. So one of the big things that was said is that Season 6 will be split into 2 story arcs. So we're going to have like a pre-Crisis story arc, and that pre-Crisis story arc will lead up into Crisis. Like, a lot of the stuff in that story arc will play out into Crisis, or, similar things to that. So you have a pre-Crisis arc and then a post-Crisis arc. So each of them will have its own main villain. We will go over one of those main villains in a second. But the best way to think of it is as 2 graphic novels, separated by the big event of Crisis. Now, this was actually the term used by Eric Wallace, and I think that's the best way to think about it. So I'm excited to see how the pre-Crisis stuff leads into Crisis, as well as what Crisis does to lead into that post-Crisis arc, as well as villain, because that post-Crisis arc is going to have like 12 episodes or 12 episodes or 13 episodes, while that pre-Crisis arc is only going to have like around 8. So I'm interested to see what they do there, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. But in regards to one of those main villains in the pre-Crisis arc, for this one, Sendhil Ramamurthy, hopefully that's the way you pronounce his name, has joined the show as Dr. Ramsey Rosso, who is otherwise known as Bloodwork in the comics. Now, we knew he was going to be in episode 1, but we thought he was just going to be a throwaway villain, because we didn't know how they were going to set up this season. So he's the main villain of the pre-Crisis arc, and we did find out throughout the panel that he's an old friend of Caitlin Snow, who goes on to who joined Star Labs and is like what's the word, like obsessed, I guess, with curing people dying and just death itself. So this leads to his transformation, into Bloodwork. Now, in the trailer, you did see like him working with little scientific stuff. It goes by pretty quickly, but he's testing blood, and I wonder if they're going to go down the sort of the same storyline in the comics, where he was maybe fired for what he was doing, taking blood. That'll be pretty interesting. But we know that his mother will play a role in his journey early on. I won't spoil what that is, because some of you might have known it, because you can actually see it, I think, in the trailer, if you have an eagle eye. But I won't spoil it just in case you don't want to know. Now, we did find out that Barry is actually struggling with Nora's death, which makes sense. I'm sure Iris will be doing the same, as well as Nora's death on the timeline. So that whole impact on the timeline is going to be a big thing. We know that there's one big thing that's, going to happen due to that, and that's the fact that Godspeed is still around. Now, they didn't really say anything about Godspeed. You see Godspeed for literally 0.1 of a second in the trailer running around. That's a new shot, I'm pretty sure. It might not be, but it looked like a new shot. So he's there, but it'll be interesting to see how, they explain how he's there, whether he's like a present day Godspeed, or it's the Godspeed from the future that just time traveled back. We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of fear that they're going to use Godspeed for one episode again, or like one scene, then he just gets taken down. Who knows? Maybe he gets away or something. Have to wait and see. But we also did find out that this season picks up 10 seconds after the end of season 5. But there's a lot of thought that maybe it picks up after season 5, like 10 seconds after, but then we have like a whole 2 months later after that. Like they just deal with the Crisis newspaper changing and then they skip forward a couple of months. But we'll have to wait and see what they do there. Now, they did say that the Central City Citizen is sort of going to get pushed along, I think. They didn't say this, but they just say that like Iris is now managing the Central City Citizen and like all these different reporters. So it sounds like they are like really pushing that storyline forward, because last season it was sort of like really small baby steps. But it seems like as soon as we pick up in this season, it's like full steam ahead. And there were like those rumors going around that they were going to sort of like maybe push through some development there. And I think, like, he didn't say this, Eric Wallace didn't say this, but I think maybe why he did this is because maybe they did it so slow last season, because it was a slow burn, but in a way in which they didn't really focus on it a lot either. So maybe Eric Wallace was like, well, mate, we wasted a lot of time last season not pushing this forward and doing some other stuff, so let's just, you know, put it on overdrive and just get it to the point we need it to be at. So maybe that's what's doing there. A lot of people think that maybe Sue Dearborn, you know, a character that will feature into Ralph's storyline for this season, might be attached to Iris's Central City Citizen, but that's for us to wait and see. That's not confirmed. Now, in regards to Cisco, they did confirm that he's basically going back to like a season 1 type role. I guess you could call it the guy in the cortex or the guy in the chair. Obviously, he lost his powers last season. We're unsure whether he was leaving or not. Like, you can tell there was, uncertainty, I guess that's the best word to use, about his future with how they ended last season. But he's decided to stay on, which I think we all want to see. So he's back good. He's back for good. Sorry, for now at least. So he has no powers, but he's back basically to his season 1 type role, which I'm happy with. You know, I'm fine with that. Like, Vibe's cool having him there. But if he's in that role, you probably get more of Cisco if you think about it. So, you know, I'm not complaining. Now, this wasn't mentioned in the panel, but I think it was mentioned in an interview, and they said that Ralph's family will be introduced and his past will be explored. I'm fine with that, I guess. Maybe if Sue Dearborn ties into it, or maybe if we get to explore maybe his life as a detective with the CCPD before, you know, what happened with him and Barry. Maybe we might get to see that. That'd be pretty cool, because we never actually got to see that in season 4. But they might do that. But like the whole Dearborn case file from last season will be explored early on, which will lead to the introduction of, you know, Sue, who, you know, in the comics would eventually become Sue Dibney. I'm excited to see Ralph get like a proper storyline this season, because Ralph was arguably the best character last season. But they didn't really have that much of a storyline outside of like the stuff with him and Sherlock. So I'm excited to see him have his like own thing with, you know, the rest of Team Flash maybe tied in there here and there. Now, one of the bigger announcements in the panel was that Wally West, aka Kid Flash, will be coming back this season and will help Barry fight one of the Flash's greatest villains. Now, there wasn't any specification whether it was him coming back for Crisis, which a lot of people think it will be, because it could be Kid Flash and the Flash take on Reverse Flash. But I think they said he's back for 2 episodes. I heard him say multi-episode arc, but apparently he said 2 episodes in the panel. I didn't hear it, I just heard multi-episode, so he's back at least for more than 1 episode. Todd Helbing said this last season, and it never happened, so maybe they're making up. Eric Wallace is like, I've got to make this happen and make up for last season, where Todd stuffed up. So he's bringing him back, and I think we're all excited to see that. And yeah, I think the cast want it as well, so it's gonna be good to see Wally come back. Now, season 6 is Harrison Wells will be, and I quote, and this is, they use this, like, it became a meme in the panel, like a really quick meme. You thought Apartment 4 was a quick meme. This was a quicker meme. This was like the Flash of memes. And sensual, that's the word they kept using to describe this new Harrison Wells for this season. But essentially, we're going to see a lot of build up in this season towards Crisis on Infinite Earths, where we will see the Pariah enter. So I'm not going to spoil what the Pariah, like the Pariah's importance, I guess you could say, to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Honestly, you don't have to read too much of the graphic novel to understand why he's important, and I guess his significance to, I guess, marking the start of the event. And that might be a bit of a spoiler, but anyway, I'm excited to see what they do there. But yeah, Crisis is going to be a big thing in the lead up with, I think, all of them, at least Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash. Like, those 3 shows are going to have so much Crisis references and just set up within those seasons for the actual event. It's going to be crazy. But we know the Monitor is going to be in episode 1. They said that he's going to be in episode 1. Grant Gustin said this. He's going to meet Barry at the end of episode 1. and basically tell him that I think what he said is that he tells him that he has to sacrifice himself or something like that, or he's meant to, or something along those lines. But it's going to be interesting to see all this crisis build up. And the last thing is that Frost, or formerly Killer Frost, will have more screen time this season, as we will see her interact more with the Star Labs crew within the actual Cortex, as well as people outside of the Cortex. So it seems that, like, Frost is, because it's no longer Killer Frost, so this Frost side of Caitlyn has just maybe matured a bit and just socialized a bit more. But I don't know necessarily how they're going to handle that. We know that Frost has a new suit. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Because I don't necessarily know how you can make, wouldn't it just be Caitlyn? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sort of confused how they're going to handle it, but yeah, we'll wait and see. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully my voice didn't sound too bad. It hurts to speak, but hopefully it doesn't hurt to listen to, unless you already hated me to begin with. So every time you listen to me, it probably hurts. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, guys, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. What's the thing you're looking forward to most from the reveals from the Comic-Con panel? And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.